Welcome back, LostWebChild. I'm babbling about UFOs and aliens and greys and where they come from. I think I should cover methane. Methane is a biological, chemical, or thing that, excuse the noises you hear in the background. Methane is only made by the decomposition of organic life. Organic just means it's made of carbon. So if you've got a carbon steak, it's got carbon. Or if you've got an organic steak, it's made with carbon. Organic apples, etc. So everyone's kind of trying to mutate the phrase of organic to be natural, no chemicals. But, you know, hey, if the chemicals have carbon in it, blah, you just threw organic chemicals onto an organic substance. So anyways, gray aliens. God speaks through us. So there's a handful, just enough stories I've heard of people where it's like the emotions are captured and you can feel it, and it's like, oh fuck. Oh hey, I can make more gold and iron. So God speaks through us, which leads me to believe that God, our creator, the creator of man, not the universe, not there's so many gods, you know, just pick one. I mean, the God that's up in the clouds that has hateful fury and strikes you with lightning, a bearded man on a throne. That's Zeus. So Jesus or God is Zeus. Lovely. That's one way to wrap in multiple religions into one and gain more support. Saying, hey, your gods are our gods, so we must be worshiping the same religion. So, you know, call yourself our religion because, you know, that just increases our numbers and we suckered you. Anyways, politics, blah. Leave that, because I'm going to get killed, as always. Grabble. Rabble. So gray aliens, God speaks through us. So our God, that's another long topic, but my belief is God is actually the gray aliens. And it's like, everyone's looking for answers, like, oh my God, who is God, and what is he, and blah, blah, blah. And God has always been this thing that you cannot explain, anything unexplainable. You can't see past the first domino. You say, oh, it's the work of God. Why did the drunk run over my child and kill him? And they were only 9 years old in the top of her class, and she's dead now, and the drunk lived. Oh, it's an act of God. Well, it's just an explanation to explain something so you can move on, because all we've got is the living. Once you die, you're dead, and there's nothing more to it. Which bugs me that people preserve their body to be stuck in the ground. I'm like, no, you gotta return your elements back to nature. You're breaking the cycle if you don't, and it's just like, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Anyways, that's one of my thoughts, but yeah. What did these people that are actually mummified in their coffins have to bring to society that their body has to be remembered? So it's like, we've still got it. Nothing. We're all the children of God. All of us together makes us the child of God, child that God always wanted. But Mother Nature gave him something that he refused. He threw a fit. But, like our father, we have the sins of our father. Our mother is Mother Nature, and he wanted to have a child, so he's like attracted Mother Nature to Earth and said, hey, I made this for you. And she, well, this is someone else's idea that I absolutely love, but he was hoping that she would fall in love with him, and because it was so beautiful. I mean, together they're like, let's make life. So, they put water on it. They gave it an atmosphere, and they started making life and all sorts of life. And together, she brings the life. He brings just good and evil. And together they were making life. And he's like, let's make a combination of both of us. And she's like, no, because she fell in love with the planet, not with him. And so what they made, their last creation, was man. Out of clay, which I don't know who she was. I think she was Sasquatch. Because everyone's got Sasquatch and Yeti in their history. And they're still spotted. Down in Florida, they're referred to as skunk apes. And I'm like, how do you know such obvious one of the five senses. How can you describe it with one of the five senses unless someone smelled them? And it's like it's referred to as skunk apes. They are, in my opinion, that's clay. God came down, find the Sasquatch, and says, you know, they're pretty damn close. Difference is they are natural to this planet. So let's use that as our base, and let's stick our genetics into it because it's pretty damn similar. And let's make this happen. So it's and this is why mankind has so many diseases, so many genetic problems. That you know, if we were actually yeah, I believe in both evolution and divine intervention. This is the only way it explains that there's a disease that kills children at birth and in the womb, and it's like, how does that propagate? How do you get that? You don't unless it's, you know, engineered, because that single trait would have died, you know, died with the baby, and somehow babies still have it. It's a small percentage, but still, it's just like, yeah. No. So we got tons of problems, and other animals don't. But then again, other animals don't live as long. Naturally, we live 30 years, 35, hence the term over the hill at age 30, because that's kind of the point where it's like, okay, now it's time for you to start dying. 36, everything kind of fell apart with me. Liver, digestion. I've lost 35 pounds since the last 6 months, but blah, 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 blah. It's like I'm drunk or something. So anyways, God speaks through us, which is the great aliens, and if you were to create a creature to do your bidding, would you not want to be able to control them with mental thought, or maybe some device you strap to your head? I still think the gray aliens are not, well, God said unto Adam and Eve, why are you wearing clothes? It's like, we are naked. So why was God like, hey, you're wearing clothes, why are you doing that? Probably means that God himself, or themselves, are nudists. And when was the last time you saw a fashion statement on a gray alien? They're naked. Their junk is not out, and you don't see anything. Either it's a leotard spandex suit that they're wearing, and the eyes are just part of the, helmet, or they're actual nudists. And why would a nudist traveling through the extreme temperatures of space not wear clothes or something to protect them in a harsh environment? Well, that's, in my opinion, kind of obvious. They either genetically engineer themselves to be able to survive through radiation, much like humanity can survive through water. Doesn't mean, just because we can survive through water doesn't mean that we can't drown. Hence, when you can press time and space and travel through it, you're being exposed to radiation at a rate that could possibly drown them. So just because they're resistant to it doesn't mean they can't just drown in radiation. Hence, I forgot what book it was. Someone said that when it comes to talking to the gods, whoever talks to them will die within a few days of an unknown thing. And farmers that actually talk to them, their children report that they died in a few days. And then the alien itself died in a few weeks, or possibly months. So what it is the aliens come out and they're absolutely radioactive. So it's radiation poisoning that the farmers get, and they last a few hours to a few days, and then die of radiation poisoning. And then the aliens die a few weeks to a few months because they actually are a lot more resilient to radiation, hence why they can travel through space. So the question is, do you genetically engineer yourself for a suicide group to go through space? What do you bring back? Is this an honorable thing, or is it just like, okay, bug one, bug... Stop it, you stupid little... bug one, bug two, we just hatched you, and it's time for you to uphold your purpose. So, they educate them, stick them in a ship, and launch them, because if you've ever seen the inside of an alien ship, there's no padding. It's just hard, solid metal. It's like, are you guys like Japanese, where you just sleep on the ground and eat on the ground, and it's all hard, and this is just the way life is? There's no padding, there's no comfort, there's no coziness, there's nothing. Or maybe it's like, well, you're gonna suicide, why be comfortable? So it's some weird shit. Blah blah blah. I know. I'm just babbling about things I know. I just collect information that I can't make money with this. So it's just useless shit. I just sit down and put the pieces together. So the other thought is maybe it's a whole species. That what we see is the whole species. There's a bunch of people like, oh, you're prisoners. You broke our faith or our religion or our belief or our rule, or you did something wrong. So now we chose you to suicide across the galaxy to figure out this humanity thing because we want to know more of them. It's apparently there's 6 different species. The grays are actually the short ones. The tall ones are the ones you got to worry about. They're 7 to 8 feet tall. Hence, they probably have a very small gravity well on their planet. The gray aliens, most likely, if they come from a planet outside of the solar system, hence possibly 25 light years from here. I can't call the name right now. I'm bad with names. It probably does not have an electromagnetic force field. Or possibly it could be one of the moons of Saturn, the one that's covered in methane. I'll get back to the methane bit here in a little bit. I should have broken through to my tunnel by now. So anyways, playing the game, I got plenty of time to think. So it's like, okay, they suicide for the better good of the group. What information do they bring back? And wouldn't it be sad? It's like, okay, I'm about to die, so I might as well go on a vacation. Let's go on a vacation that kills me, because, you know, I'd rather go out quickly than go out over months of time just hurting and dying. So they decide to take their little vacation here to Earth. They get their radiation poisoning on the way. They come here, they enjoy what... I heard a skeleton. And then they die. Hence, there's been quite a few reports saying that there's been windows and people in the windows, and they weren't human, and blah blah blah, and they were spectating. It's like, well, that's nice. So it could be a tourist trap, but clearly, if they were hostile, if they're coming to conquer, we would have been conquered. And I should probably turn this off and start the next one. So let me do that.